Hi there everyone, I am here today with my young horse Esprit, and I want to talk to you about the rhythm of the walk today and some things that you can do and look for to help get your horse to give you the very best walk that they can. All right, so this is the second video as part of my rhythm series, so if you haven't seen the first video yet, please head over to my YouTube channel, Susan Rainville, find the playlist marked rhythm, and check out that very first video. It is a really good video on the mechanics of the walk, trot, and canter. It has some really cool slow motion footage there so you can really study and make sure that you understand each of the gaits. So today, I want to talk to you about rhythm, and I'm going to get Esprit going so we can do some walking while we're talking, and you can watch Esprit's walk. So from the very first video, we know that our walk rhythm is a 4-beated gait. Each foot hits the ground independently of each other. So the first thing that you can do to make sure that you're headed towards achieving a really good walk is to learn how to count the beats of the walk while you're riding. So what I'm going to do is just quietly listen for Esprit's feet on the ground as we walk, and I can also peek down at her shoulder so I can see when her right front foot and her left front foot are hitting the ground. So first things first, we'll just quietly listen for the 4 beats as she walks along. So you can hear that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I can kind of look at her shoulders, and I'm going to look at her inside shoulder first, and as that foot hits the ground, I'm going to count 1. And then her other outside front foot, when that foot hits the ground, that's beat 3, okay? So you want to count, ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's important to practice and learn to count the rhythm of the gait that you're riding. In this case, it's the walk, and we're counting the 4 beats. And the reason why we want to make sure we're focusing on counting the rhythm is because in order to get a really good walk and to cover that first tier of the training scale, which is rhythm, you need to have good, steady forward energy as well as good, steady tempo. So if you're counting the 4 beats, you can keep track of your horse's tempo. So what do I mean by tempo? The tempo is the speed of the rhythm. So we have a 4-beat rhythm, and we want to make sure we get a nice working tempo going within this 4 beats. So if I'm counting, I am very aware of when the walk might slow down or get too fast. All right, so how do you know when your horse is in a good working tempo? So we don't want our walk to be too slow, but we don't want it to be too quick either. So some things that you can look for to figure out if your horse is giving you their best tempo, which will differ from horse to horse because they're all different shapes and sizes. Some horses have longer legs than others. They take bigger strides, so some horses' tempo might be quicker than another horse's. So what you want to look for with your horse is that if you have a nice long rein and just letting them sort of walk freely without interfering with your legs or your arms, you want to see that their head is bobbing. The walk should have a lot of movement in the head and the neck, as well as you want to feel their back under your saddle swinging and actually swinging your hip while you're walking along. So if you're not seeing that head bob and you're not feeling the hip swing, you need to get your horse going a little. So Esprit actually could do a little bit better here. So I'm just going to encourage her to move along a little bit with my leg so that she gets a little bit more swing, a little bit more head bob. Another good indicator of whether or not your horse is giving you a really good walk is to look at their hind feet. So if you're in an arena that has mirrors, you can look in the mirrors. If you don't have mirrors, like I don't have mirrors in my indoor, you can ask somebody to videotape you or use your phone to videotape yourself. But you want to look for their hind leg to step over their front hoof print. All right, so not all horses have that big swinging walk. So at very least, you want your horse's hind leg working hard enough to step into the front hoof print. So if you watch Esprit walk, watch for her hind leg coming up and stepping either in or over her front hoof print. So ideally, you would like to have your horse to have a walk that has that nice swing, and we can get that hind leg to reach and step over that front hoof print, okay? If you don't have that horse and they, don't have this natural big swing, then you want to work on getting your horse nice and loose and relaxed so they can at very least get a toe up into that front hoof print, okay? So if you can't see that from a video or from mirrors, you can always get off your horse and hand walk your horse and sort of play around with the speed within the walk and watch their feet and see how big of a walk do you need in order to achieve that hind leg coming up into the front hoof print. All right, well, the biggest reason why I wanted to do this series on rhythm was not so much to focus on the horse. Obviously, we need to understand the different rhythms of the different gaits, but more so I want to talk about things that you can do with your riding to make your rhythm better. So if we're expecting our horses to have good rhythm and maintain good rhythm and steady tempo, then we as riders also have to be able to keep good rhythm. So if you're naturally somebody that has rhythm, that's great. This should be pretty easy for you. If you're somebody that says, I can't dance, I have no rhythm, well, don't quit that dance class. You're going to have to really work on your own rhythm so that you can be a good riding partner for your horse. If we don't have good rhythm and we're not able to stay with our horse's rhythm, then we're just going to hold them back and they're not going to be able to do their job as well. So some things that you can work on while you're working your horse's walk, once you've really figured out counting the rhythm and finding your horse's best tempo for the walk, you can start to shorten your reins a little bit and see if you can keep that forward steady tempo with a little bit of a shorter rein. All right, and when you're walking, you're thinking about your very best riding position. So you're going to think your head, shoulder, hip, and heel are all in that straight line up and down. That you have a nice bend to your elbow so that your elbow creates this nice straight line from your elbow to the horse's mouth, okay? Just a little add-on, the walk is the best time to work on your riding position, okay? So some things that you can do to help you be a better riding partner for your horse and keep good rhythm is you're going to just try to relax all of your joints. You're going to make sure that your shoulders are relaxed. You can do a little shoulder shrug. You're going to make sure your elbows are soft and relaxed, your wrists, your fingers, all of your joints soft and relaxed, especially your hip joint, your knee and your ankle. We're just letting those legs hang nice and long so that you can just engage your core and your back to sit up nice and tall and keep your riding position. And you want to, while you're counting your 4 beats, think about how your body feels and that you're following forward. How does your hip feel? Are you pushing with your hip or are you letting your hip just follow the swing of the back? Okay, so one way you can kind of get your hips and your legs a little looser is you can drop your stirrups and you can work on a little exercise that's going to help engage your core so that you can get stronger and hold your position with your core, not your legs or your arms. You're just going to lift your leg up off the saddle and push it down and lift the other leg up off the saddle and push it down. And notice Esprit stopped because I sort of lost my rhythm, right, as the rider. So she stopped because she's a young horse, so she doesn't like that. So just making sure that those hips are nice and loose and your leg is hanging. You can get your horse going again and just feel for that hip swing. All right? And then what I want you to try is you're going to have nice short reins. And I want you just to make sure, check in with your shoulder to make sure that your shoulder joint isn't too tight and restrictive. Because when you're walking, we're looking for that head bob, so we want our arms to follow the bobbing of the head. So you're going to watch my arms. My arms are following Esprit's head and neck. So I want you to exaggerate your movement a little bit with your arms so you really feel that follow. So make your shoulders go forward, make your arms kind of grow longer from your shoulder joint. So we're going to grow them longer, but keeping a little bend in the elbow. And then I'm going to bring my shoulders back and put my shoulder blades kind of together. And I did that from my shoulder joint. So again, I'm going to relax my shoulders forward, let my arm grow from the joint in my shoulder. Being careful not to, come on buddy, to straighten my arms when I do it. I want to keep that little bend, but I just want my arms to go forward towards her mouth and then gently come back and see if I can keep Esprit's walk the same tempo as I bring my arms forward and back. And I'm going to try to get a little rhythm going myself with this. And notice when my arms grow longer, Esprit's neck gets longer and her walk gets even better. Okay, so that's one thing. So we can practice the legs up, 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 nice loose long hips, and we get going. I can take my stirrups back and keep those legs nice and long. Another really great thing that you can work on while you're walking and feel for is when you're walking, you want to feel for your horse's rib cage kind of swinging back and forth. Okay, so you want to see if your leg can just follow her rib cage back and forth. So while we're walking, it's like you're using alternating legs and following her rib cage. So she could probably walk on a little bit more and give me a little bit more swing so I could feel that more. But you're going to use your alternating leg aids on, off. So left, right, left, right, left, right. And you can exaggerate your movement a little bit to sort of get into the groove of things, get into the rhythm, feeling for that rib cage back and forth and back and forth. And you really just want it to be sort of just a follow. You don't obviously want to have your legs moving around a lot whenever you're riding, but for this exercise, just feeling for a nice rhythm, you can sort of exaggerate just a little bit, just so you can get into it a little bit, okay? And then you just sort of quiet things down and a little bit more subtle as you get the hang of it, as you get a good feel for keeping your body in rhythm. All right, so like I said, we're gonna see if we can just exaggerate our body movement a little bit just to get into the rhythm. You know, we've all been to the horse show and seen that rider who really gets into it and their head's really bobbing, their neck is nice and relaxed and loose. Be that rider for a little bit, okay? If you get the ring to yourself, you're all by yourself, just go on and feel that. Let your body just relax and feel that. Let your head bob. Make sure your neck is relaxed and loose and that you're following, that those legs are swinging. Get your legs swinging back and forth. You'll feel your hips swinging. And then we're just really careful to make sure that we're always going forward with our horse. Never anything side to side or backwards, okay? So once you really feel like you're loose and you're relaxed, your joints are loose, and you're following your horse nicely, then you can make all that movement much more subtle so that it's a little bit quieter and that we're not actually doing the reverse of what we're trying to do and causing an imbalance or instability or resistance, okay? Just enough to really feel like you're moving along and being a good dance partner with your horse. Okay, so we don't all have the privilege of getting to choose what temperament or what gait, how well gaited our horses are. So if you have a horse that has a little bit of trouble getting that nice quality walk, that nice, follow through, don't worry. I am going to do another video on walk to help give you some ideas of exercises that you can do to improve your horse's walk and get it a little bit bigger and stronger. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If you liked this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you soon with another walk video, and we will move on to some fun rhythm exercises in the trot as well. Thanks for watching.